Today's perfect puppy top tip is all about biting. So this is a really, really common puppy behaviour, and hopefully you were expecting it a little bit. First thing you want to do is check the puppy's getting enough sleep. Tired puppies are like tired toddlers. They are, quite frankly, fairly foul to be around. And they do throw, for want of a better phrase, tantrums because their needs have not been met. So making sure that they've had enough sleep to actually give them the brain space to deal with their emotions outside of just biting is a really, really good way of trying to prevent some of that. And you will find that puppies do tend to bite more at times of the day where they're starting to get tired. So there's nothing wrong with trying to pop the puppy down for a little nap in their sleeping area if you are finding biting happens or is escalating at a specific time of day. If the puppy bites you, if it is possible to do so, remove interaction with the puppy. So if you were cuddling with them, stop cuddling with them. If you were playing with them, stop playing with them. And try and ignore the behaviour, and or both. If you cannot ignore it, I for years told clients to just ignore the behaviour. Then I bought Sonic and I was humbled. It was not possible to ignore her biting. She was agonising. I was wearing wellies around her. She put holes in wellies. I was wearing jeans, like very, very hard clothing. And she would get me. I was covered in bites and bruises, and I lost like half my wardrobe in the process of trying to raise her. It simply was not possible to just ignore her behaviour at all. And I know her needs were being met. So I made sure that all of that was happening to start with. And it wasn't possible to just continue and ignore or let it happen and simply redirect. It wasn't working. So with Sonic, we would try and prevent it wherever possible. So if we could see that she was about to get a bit bitey, basically you did not enter where Sonic was without having a toy on you or a pocket full of treats so that you could throw the treats and try and get her onto something else. The second she had like a little evil look, the second she gave you that little evil look, you would be putting something else down in her mouth, giving her a chew, anything that stopped her biting you. If you knew that wasn't going to happen, you left the room, or you left her in her pen, or you just popped her somewhere. We also removed the other dogs from her because she would then target them, and we weren't enjoying it, therefore the other dogs weren't going to enjoy it. It's really important not to tell a puppy off for puppy biting. Not even necessarily in like a harsh no, don't do that way, but even if there's some advice out there that says you're to like yip and squeal as if you're another puppy in pain. Some dogs enjoy that. And it's a bit like if a puppy is biting and they are trying to get attention, negative attention will constitute attention still. That will count as them achieving their goal. When I lived at home with my mum, every Christmas and it would start from like September. So when I say Christmas, every winter, I would sneak up behind her and press play on a Christmas song on my phone. And she would turn around and like jokingly tell me off. And I would do it when she was in the middle of like work tasks, not in like meetings or anything, but middle of a work task, trying to write a big report, I'd come up and just press this song just to annoy her. And because she would turn around and tell me off, it was so much fun. And then there was one winter where we were having a kitchen replaced and the builders saw me play this game with mum, so they would then play the game with mum, so it became this massive joke. And because there was such a history of her telling us off, it became that much more fun. And that behaviour, if I can get away with it now, even though I still don't live at home, I absolutely will, because it's so much fun. So some puppies do enjoy being told off in the same way that I enjoy being told off by my mum for playing those Christmas songs. So telling off can make the behaviour worse, isn't always going to make it better. So just don't do it. I've already spoken to you about predicting. There's nothing wrong with popping the puppy away. So puppies do need to learn to be separated from people and be left home alone, be left in a room of the house when they can't access the people in the house. So work on that outside of the biting. Make sure your puppy is happy and comfortable with that. And when they are, if they're starting to bite, you've tried preventing it, you've tried giving them something else, they've had plenty of sleep, they're just having one of these bitey moments, pop the puppy away. There's nothing wrong with popping them away. And it's not a punishment. It's not, oh, you're going in your crate because you bit me, or you're going in your pen because you bit me. It's I do not have the energy to deal with this right now. Here's a chew in your pen. You are in here. You cannot physically access me. Or you leave the room. So if previously I've had puppies kept in the kitchen, if they got that bad with the biting, we would just leave the kitchen and leave puppy. It was safe for him to be in there. Leave puppy in there so that he can get over his biting nonsense without the presence of people to practice that biting nonsense on. We don't always want to redirect, so that's a bit of common advice that's given out. If a puppy bites you and then we redirect onto a toy or into a chew, like specifically like straight from bite to toy, that can actually teach a puppy to bite you in order to get the toy, or in order to get the game, or in order to get the chew, or whatever it is. So ideally we want to prevent it as much as possible. So almost as soon as you enter the room, toy in puppy's mouth and you play with the puppy as you are walking along. Or prevent in scatter food as you enter the room. Don't let the sequence of events be puppy bites, then puppy gets chew, toy, food. It should be puppy gets chew, toy, food, human enters room, human does what they need to do, human leaves room, or puppy is taken out and is not going to bite in that scenario, whatever it is. So those are the things you want to keep an eye out for. So lots of sleep, like honestly, 18 hours minimum for your puppy. It's really, really hard to do. So make sure they're actually getting enough sleep. Try and ignore it if you can. However, if you have a super bitey puppy, or you've got young children in the house, or you have someone in the house that is unable to ignore the behaviour, don't force them to. Set the environment up so that the puppy is not biting them, and do that by predicting the bite, and giving the puppy something else to do, giving the puppy something appropriate to bite whilst that individual is present. Pop them away if they have bitten and they are there's no way of working them out of it, and don't tell them off, and try not to redirect. Try and prevent it as much as possible, because telling them off and redirecting can actually make it a little bit worse.